Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today I'm making a duck-proof floating pond planter for Mumbles Pond, and I hope it works.
Oh, I think he's swimming. He's swimming. Don't push my log into the water, you pup.
Now we're starting to get some better weather here. After the rain came through, it really knocked the smoke down, so it's starting to be a clear, sunny day. Huh, pup, you trying to stay in the shade? You stay cool, pup, and try and keep an eye on your cousin. Oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. A crab getting a shower. There you are. Come on, Mav. Stay where I can see you. Now, we already have some floating plants down here in the koi pond. We have duckweed, salvia minima, and water hyacinth. And most of it floated down into the intake bay, and it's starting to colonize pretty well. I'm keeping it growing here in the koi pond because I'm not allowing the ducks to come down here and eat them, so we can actually get some of it established, and then I can take some of it out to Mumbles Pond. And I have already taken some out there, but whenever the ducks hit the water, they end up eating most of it. And I would like to get some floating plants out there so they can help filter the water and even add some shade for the fish. And not too long ago, we did make these floating lily pads for the koi pond, and they are holding some of the duckweed and the salvia minima, adding shade for the koi pond fish. But those are not going to be duck proof. The ducks would just jump in there like a big salad bowl. So those will work pretty well for the koi and goldfish down here, but we need something a little bit more durable for the ducks. And I've been looking it up, and I really haven't been able to find anything that's going to be duck proof. All I can really find online are lily baskets, and I really haven't seen anything DIY that's going to work either. Some people are growing floating plants for their animals, but unfortunately they don't have their animals in the water that they're growing them in. And I'm trying to do the same thing, grow them here in the koi pond so I don't get them all eaten all at once, but I do want to be able to move them out to Mumbles Pond and have them not get eaten in one day. And then if I can get enough growing in the koi pond and Mumbles Pond, we'll have surplus we can feed the animals. Oh, and I gotta go get the tail feather too. It kind of floated away. We got a lot of rain and the pond came up about 6 inches. And it looked really good at that level. So I'm thinking whenever I put the overflow pipe in the dam, we're gonna try and raise the level of the water. But to get the overflow pipe in, the water has to go back down below where we're gonna be cutting into the dam, or it's just gonna make a big mess. So that is coming up. We're gonna be raising the level of Mumbles Pond, so make sure to subscribe down below. But I've been thinking about it and gathering up materials, and I think I have everything I need to make a duck-proof floating pond planter. And the only thing I had to buy this time were the pool noodles. I already had the swimming pool and the hula hoop. And I'm also going to need this black mesh I've had lying around that I didn't know what it would be good for yet, but I think this is going to be the perfect project. Some electrical tape and some zip ties. I also have some side cutters here to cut the zip ties off, and then a drill here because we're going to be making a lot of holes. So we're going to be starting with the swimming pool here because this is going to be our basket for all the plants. And my plan is to put a bunch of holes through the bottom of this swimming pool, kind of making a net or like a mesh on the bottom. And then we're going to sink the swimming pool into the pond, and that's going to fill up with water, and we can have all the floating plants inside. But to keep it steady, we're going to put the pool noodles around the outside, wrap them all the way around and zip tie them. So we'll have a floating ring around the outside holding everything up, and then the plants can suck the water up from down below. But that's not going to keep it high enough to keep the ducks out of this, eating it like a salad bowl. So I'm thinking this mesh is going to be perfect. We're going to zip tie it to the pool noodles right here, and then it'll stick up about a foot, maybe 10 inches to a foot. We're going to grab the hula hoop, and this is going to fit up here nicely right at the top of the mesh, and I can zip tie it all the way around the hula hoop, giving it a little bit more structure. I'm hoping that's, oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. I don't know for sure, but this is my plan here, so we're going to see how it goes as we put it together. And once it's all together, we can take it out to the duck pond and test it with Mumbles in the flock. Because everybody's out there floating right now. Gorgeous. Huh, pup? You need the fan turned on. Okay. Find your cousin first. Maverick! Good boy, good boy. You hunting those wabbits? You pup. Alright, let's make a pond planter. You go ahead and cool off, Mav. Good. Alright, pup. Step 1, holes in the bottom. I believe this is a 3/4 inch bit. Have holes in the bottom. That's going to allow the roots to reach down into the pond. But now we need to add flotation, and to get these noodles onto the side, we're going to have to drill some holes into the side of the pool so we can zip tie through the plastic. I think these will actually fit pretty well. Yeah, that'll work. And I did switch to a smaller bit because once I went around the outside here, it started to chew up the plastic. So going to a smaller bit actually made some better holes. And water's going to make it through either way. So I think that'll work. But now we just need one to fit the zip tie through. Alright, now Pop, this is where we have to put the duck protection in. Hey, calm down, you're all wet. So we're going to be putting this screen around here. Hey, something biting you. Oh, I know, puppy, I know. Echo Pup's been getting real itchy lately. I don't know why. Huh. Yeah, you're flaring up again, you pup. Alright, I don't want to get you too hot. You behave. We got a little bit left to do here. Hold on. Yeah. We have some tape here to make sure the hula hoop doesn't come apart. It's a little bigger. This is going to work. This should be high enough to keep the duck from dabbling into the bowl. Should be strong enough too. And then I added a weight in the bottom here just to give it a little bit more stability whenever it's blowing in the wind. And I also added a string to the bottom to the zip tie loop so we can put an anchor on it so it's not just blowing around the whole pond. I'm pumped. I think we're ready to test it. To the blueberry. Come on, let's load this thing up and get it in the water. Hey, 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 no running. There's nothing over there. We're gonna get this taken out to the pond and I'm gonna be dropping it in right inside the dam corner because that's gonna be right above that big stump that we put in. And since that stump is underwater, we're gonna anchor this pole to it. So that's gonna mark where that stump is so nobody jumps in the water on top of it and gets hurt. But I think having this on top with the plants inside is also gonna add shade and make that stump even more inviting for the small fish. Come on, Pop. We're gonna get this in the water and then we'll come down and grab some floating plants out of the koi pond and fill it up. And hopefully it's protected from the ducks. Oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. Load up. Hey, ladies. I don't think the ducks are gonna bother this, especially since it's new. They're probably gonna give it some space for a while. Ugh. But I'm thinking it's gonna work out well in this corner. And as you can see, I did throw some floating hyacinths in here already, and it doesn't look like the ducks ate them. I put these in here yesterday. They might not have found them yet. But since the water level came up after getting 3 inches of rain in one day, the logs have floated off, and they're all scattered across the pond. Now I am going to be keeping some of these logs in the pond. I want them down on this shelf to help hold the rocks in place that we put on the side. And once we get the rocks in on top of the logs, it should hold everything in place from them floating around. But there's also one of these logs that floats around and it kind of looks like an alligator going across the water. And I'm thinking it's that one. And I'm thinking it would be a fun idea to try and carve that down a little bit and make it look like an alligator even more. Huh, Mom Balls? You just dabbling in the mud, girl. Dabbles, I see you, boy. But if you remember, that stump is sitting right here in the corner, so we gotta try and get in there and anchor this pole to the stump. And the tail feather kind of floated away in the rain, so we have water inside the boat. So I gotta try and rescue the tail feather too. Mav, don't slip and fall. Oh, you're just going right in then, huh? Okay. Yeah, there's a shelf there for you, a little bit. You're gonna have to learn to swim here soon, bud. You'll probably love it once you figure it out. I want to test him, but I gotta get his life vest on first. What are you doing? You are soaked in there, bud. You're almost swimming. You're running out of land. Come on, get out of there. I want to see if this works. Maverick. I'm gonna put it right here because I don't think it'll float away if I keep it inside this log. I just want to see what happens. It's sinking. It's sinking. Just like it should. Ah, beautiful. It sunk perfectly down to the pool noodles. Just as designed. Huh, pups, what do you think? Let's go grab some plants. Beep, beep. Hey, where's my horn? Out of the way. All right, we're gonna put some in this bucket and take it out there. We're gonna grab some of the duckweed, some of the salvia minima, and a bunch of water hyacinths. What are you yelling about, pup? Let's go ahead and pull these out. They've been multiplying nicely since we put them in here. So we're gonna grab a handful or more. I see you, Mav, I see you. We're not grabbing any fish right now. Are you trying to help? Go ahead, get some plants in there. Hey, don't chew them up, you boy. I'm trying to stop you guys from eating everything. If it's not the ducks, it's you. Huh, Pop? Yeah, we need to get some more sand on the beach too. Somebody keeps knocking it down. All right, that's probably enough to fill the pole. Load up. Good boy. Echo Pup loves to ride. Maverick does not. And he's soaking wet, so I can't really put him in my lap if I wanted to. Maverick, you're a young pup. Burn up your energy. All right, let's see if this fills up the pole. I think it's gonna work out beautifully the way it's looking right now. Hold on, pup. Look at that. Gorgeous. You get in there and let me just slosh them around a little bit. Make sure they all touch the water. Flip upright. There you go. Look at that. I don't even think the ducks can get to it. Oh, I'm falling in, pup. I'm going in. We're gonna have to get some rocks out here, pup. But that might work out beautifully. What do you think? Now, I was looking it up and I was trying to find one that was gonna be a duck-proof planter for the pond, but I didn't see anything, not even a DIY project. So we had to use our imagination today and see what we could come up with, and I think it turned out pretty well. And I'm thinking this will work out even better than the floating pond skimmer we tried to do, which we still have to make some upgrades to that. But this is gonna help filter the water 24/7 without any maintenance. The only maintenance with this one is going to be scooping out some of the extras whenever it starts getting crowded in there. And the extras can just go straight into Mumble's pond and the ducks can have fun with those. But like I said, I don't want this blowing around the pond everywhere. I do want to anchor it down and use it as a marker for that stump. So we're not done yet. We got to get the water out of the tail feather and try and get it anchored to the stump. Pup, load up. Good boy. Down that far. Oh, he's swimming. He's figuring he's swimming. Don't push my log into the water, you pup. Oh, you're porpoising. Good job, Mav. Good job. Good boy. Where's the stump? Right there. Come on over here. Don't eat that. We are attached. And now the log is marked.
I gotta head over to the bay and get the water out of the tail feather.
All right, we have the floating planter in the pond, and I'm hoping it remains duck proof. There's a big bird, Pop. Big bird. I see him, bud. I see him. Good boy. Now, I might have pushed one side of the hula hoop down whenever I was putting it in place, but I think it turned out pretty well. But the hula hoop is going to keep the netting up, and the netting is going to keep the ducks out. And I think the pole's going to work perfectly to keep the plants in water and keep the ducks from going underneath and stealing them. And I just put a loop on the end of the anchor rope and put a nail with a square washer through it into the stump to hold it in place. I already filled it up pretty good, but I'm going to let those sit for a little bit. Once they start getting overcrowded, I'll pull some of them out. And hopefully we can get more growing out here without the ducks eating them all, because that's going to be great coverage for the fish, and it's also going to be good to shade part of the pond. And if they ever start getting out of control, they're actually good to feed to all the other animals, the chickens, the goats, and the pigs. And now we know exactly where that stump is. I'm Pop. Hanging out with Ron's flock. Make sure they don't go in the koi pond. But alright guys, that's going to be all for this one. I think this project turned out pretty well, and if you have any good ideas for the next DIY project on the pond, make sure to leave it in the comments down below. And if you want to keep following along with everything here at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below, hit the like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.